Going just a little bit deeper, I just made a recording not too long ago about how a lot of things in our society have been designed to keep us away from nature and to cause us to be kind of out of sync with time. And one of those things that I mentioned was the calendar. And I mentioned how, you can tell that the calendar was changed because it used to be 28 days in a month. It used to be in sync with the moon and in sync with women's cycles and really keep us more aligned with divine feminine energy. But now we have this different calendar where we don't have 13 months anymore. We have 12, and we have these uneven number of days. And you can see that that has changed because we have months like September. Sept means seven. And I mentioned how September was the seventh month. And I was just watching a TikTok, by a woman named Yaya's World 777. And she mentioned September being the seventh month, which I already knew. I'd known that for, oh my gosh, probably since high school or younger than that. And then she mentioned seven being a cycle of completion. And again, I'd known that since high school, but then I hadn't really thought about the implications of that. That with it being the seventh month of the year, with it being a cycle of completion, that this was kind of a natural way for us to take stock of where we are and the fact that we're moving deeper into fall and the fact that, there's a need for shadow work and there's a need for reflection and for gratitude at how far we've come and, harvest and all of these things that happen around this time. And I hadn't taken all that in. And then also the idea of completion when we look at our bodies renew, every 7 years. Some things renew faster than that. But we are not even physically the same person we were 7 years ago. And so when I was thinking about the implications of what she was saying, that seven is a cycle of completion and that we're in the seventh month, it kind of just blew my mind for a minute. How I've known both these things, but I never put them together to take in the full meaning of I was born in this month of seven, this cycle of completion, and given this, in a sense, this wake up call every time my birthday arises to recap and to reflect and to be grateful and to release what is past and be ready for what is to come, and just the beauty of that, just the beauty of that. And so, as we go through September, I encourage you to reflect. I encourage you to, reassess and realign and recalibrate and be prepared for what's coming next and to release things. And also just to think about what is there that maybe but you haven't thought about the implications of it. You haven't thought about how two and two can be put together to make four. You've just seen the two and two as two separate things and not actually explored them or thought about what they mean in relationship to one another. And I just think it's very interesting when we see those things. We see things that we already knew in a new way, and we see the implications, and we see I guess you could say, just the miraculous nature of life unfolding to where we're learning more and more and more and going deeper and evolving in our thought process and in our recognition of, the beautiful things that life has in store for us. So may you walk in Zennurgy. Going just a little bit deeper, I just made